Hey family and friends, how are you guys doing? I am great. I am fantastic. I'm even more happier because it's a Wednesday today. So I am going to be talking about weddings, things and all things weddings. So we spoke about budgets, we spoke about how to break down your budgets, we spoke a lot about percentages. I really hope that has helped you guys to at least have a direction as to what to do. Please remember that all that I'm saying here, it's not a must or it's not for everyone. But it's just the guidelines on how to make things work within what you guys or what you have or what you can afford, which is important. So I got questions from people asking me also, Mabutla, what if my budget doesn't fit? How can I eventually make it fit within what I have? Or what if the stuff that I have are way over your budget? Listen, you are very much normal. That's very much normal. So don't think, or when you are careless or you didn't plan, or just the mere fact that you have a budget says that you are planning. It says that you are giving yourself some kind of direction in this whole wedding budget thing. So big ups to you. Don't listen to them that are going to say, when are you not doing it right? You are doing it right. Where you get stuck, tinkle me. My numbers are there. I shall guide you. So tips on how, I'm hoping this will be the last, this year, I'm hoping this will be the last that I'll be talking about budgets and money, because I have so much that I want to talk about weddings, like cakes, catering, your dress, thunder. There's thunder outside, guys. It's gonna rain, and I get excited when it rains. Anyway, so there's a lot that I want to talk about: hair, makeup, entertainment, a lot, flowers, a hell of a lot. So, but I feel those things are governed by your budget. So let's discuss tips on how to work within your budget, and then next week we move on to a topic that you guys can choose, or what do you want us to discuss. Number one, and I'm saying this for I don't know how many times, you probably already know what I'm going to say. Your numbers. If you are way over your budget, your numbers are the first point where you can cut things down. If you're working, cut 200, cut it down to 180 or to 160, and have an overflow if you are having your wedding at home. And if you're having your wedding at a wedding venue, tough to those that you'll be cutting. And actually not tough, it means that they don't mean so much to you. It means that they don't mean enough for you to have them at your wedding. So we don't feel bad. So cut down on your numbers. Cut down on your numbers, because if you are to really sit down and calculate, like the 60% that I spoke about and other percentages that I spoke about, if you are to take that 60% amount and divide it by the number of your guests, that's how much you'll be spending per guest. So your numbers, first point of call, we cut them down. And I believe we don't even feel bad when we cut them down. No. Those people won't be there after the wedding when you are broke. So cut down your numbers where you can. Alcohol, utshwala, ugologo, beer, cider, byala. You are not forced to buy everyone alcohol. At a wedding venue, you have an advantage that you can your guests can buy for themselves. Guests are educated enough to know, I'm going to a wedding and I'm going to my little card or cash for me to buy something to drink. Obviously, you would have given them something to introduce them to whatever that they want to drink, like entry level inyana. So alcohol, you are not forced to buy anyone alcohol. Buy them what you can, and that's it. If a limo. The other point that I need to mention, Gore, a lot of us don't check our invoices, A lot of us, we don't check our invoices. We end up not knowing what qualifies a valid tax invoice or what qualifies a valid invoice. Check your invoice. I'm noticing more and more, or there are suppliers that charge clients VAT, and those suppliers are not VAT registered. So check your invoice. If you specifically want to work with Mabutla, and Mabutla charged you 10 rands, a fetcha a era 15% ya tax, VAT. Check that invoice if it has a valid tax number. You'll do your own research on that. I'm from an accounting background, so I can see a valid invoice without discussing more. But most of the time where I find that clients end up being robbed without being unaware, it's when they are charged VAT without being supposed to be charged VAT, because they don't know. And sometimes even the supplier don't know, or they're not supposed to charge VAT because they're not VAT registered. So check that and confirm, and ask your supplier if they are indeed VAT registered, so that you can save on that 15% if you specifically want to work with that specific supplier. Okay. Point number 3 is you can hire your wedding dress. You don't have to buy a wedding gown. Really, hire your dress. You'll save a lot of money on that, because hiring turns out to be cheaper and slightly less of a hassle than buying. Because when you buy, you have to buy 6 months in advance. You have to buy a dress that's design a dress that's custom made for you. There are many fittings that are going to happen, and a whole lot of things. So if you can hire a wedding dress, go that route. Another point, thank you gifts. Now most of my clients, if not all, whenever they come to me and consult, I tell them, well, the last place where we're going to spend on our money, because I'm your planner, is thank you gifts. And this is where I base my argument from. I've paid for this venue for you to come and celebrate with me. That's a thank you enough. I've paid for the food. That's a thank you enough. That entry level, that is a thank you as it is. And then over and above that, stress, I got the thank you gifts. Thank you gifts that are even going to clutter Mabutla's table deco. Ow. Thank you gifts. You don't have to spend money on thank you gifts, my bride and my groom. That's the last point where you can save your money. Another point is, if you're going to have your wedding at a wedding venue, have a midweek wedding. You know what happens at the wedding venue? Wedding venues are like, you can even pay 50, if not 60% off of what you would pay if you were going to have your wedding on a Sunday or on a Saturday or on a holiday. So if your family allows, if that's what tickles your fancy, if that's what tickles your partner's fancy as well, if you want to, try have your wedding on a midweek, because you're going to save a muskon of a lot of money. Instead of paying 10 rands, you can even pay 4 rands for that wedding venue. It's a lot of money. I mean, 6 rand. Hey guys, 6 rand goes a long way. A long way. Especially when you're planning something as big as a wedding. Another point is, there's an app called Canva. If you know of Canva, use that to make and design your own wedding invitation cards, your wedding stationery, and just take that to be printed. You don't need to be hiring. And please, wedding stationery suppliers, please get me right. This is for someone who can't afford. This is for someone who can't afford. Please don't come back and chew me up and say Kelechela business. This is for someone who is trying to work within what they want to spend and within what they can afford. I am an advocate of no loan wedding. I'm an advocate of working within what you can afford. I'm an advocate of that. If you can afford, let's find other ways to means and ways to save money. Canva. Design your invite, design your welcome board, design your everything there. Take it to be printed at a printing shop, and they will cut it for you to fit your size and your design, and that sort of gives you as well, you are in touch with your wedding planning. Another point is some venues are slightly cheaper. Their plated menus are cheaper, but this is dependent on how big your wedding is. If you're going to have a very, very, very big wedding, a plated menu might be slightly, it might be a bit of a hassle. But the beauty about a plated menu, it's so classy and elegant. I wanna the queue, jadi buffet. I wanna or there's less risk of COVID. I mean, we are in the COVID times now, so food comes to you ready, and obviously, as the bride and the groom, you would have sat down and given your guests an option: beef, chicken with lamb, or beef with fish and 2 salads, whatever. You'll design an appetizing menu for your guests to be able to choose what they want to have. Okay. Another point, if you can buy things earlier, like sale, like now, sale from winter, ne? In South Africa, we had sales from winter, so you could buy whatever that you could buy: perfumes, earrings. Take advantage of this sale. Just take advantage of it. Buy as much things as you can on sale. Hair accessories, you can buy those on sale. Then another thing, it Take a Lot, guys. It's amazing how Take a Lot has made life easy for us as human beings. You order things there, they forever have the sale. Forever. Always have the sale. So take advantage of the sale, guys. Another thing that's going to save your mental health as well is if you can pay your bond or your rent after your wedding 3 months in advance. Get out, obviously you're paying it before. Do that because you're going to save yourself of a lot of stress. How am I going to now live the coming 3 months? If you can pay your bond, your rent, your car installment, even if it's not all 50% yana for the coming 3 months, do that so that you are off, you are less stressed ka your wedding honeymoon period. That's very important, guys. Honeymoon as well. If you can book your honeymoon months in advance or a year in advance, do that, because flights are cheaper when you book them earlier than when you book them at a later stage. So that's another cost saving factor for you to save a bit of cents nyana there, so that you can pay more for deco and pay more for your wedding venue and the food. So coming back to the food, I forgot to mention as well, not all venues plated menus are cheap. Some venues will tell you, no, because it's a plated menu, we take time in designing each and every plate and stuff like that. So not all wedding venues plated menus are cheap, or are better affordable than buffet. Sometimes some venues the buffets are cheaper, some venues the buffets are not. Use your pasta. If you have a pastor up in muruti, an officiant pasta, as a pasta ya food, it's a pastor. So use that. If you can get muruti to come and officiate for you, you're saving money because you're not going to have to pay that person. Thanks, pastor. Ne? That's it. Remember the small items, or those small items, they can chow up a lot of your budget. So small items, give it your shoes that you can buy on sale, your headpiece that you can buy on sale, and a whole lot of things. So last but not least, spend money on things that you will need, things that you can also use tomorrow, like shoes. I hope this has helped someone. See you guys next time. Bye. Mwah.